to buy your pretty heart, but price too high. Baby, you got me like your love when I'm falling apart. So you can put me again and throw me against that wall. Baby, you got me like won't you stop loving me? Don't quit loving me. Just stop loving me, yeah.
This 911 call raised some eyebrows.
911, what's your emergency? Yeah, my wife got attacked by a warthog real bad, and I need someone to come up with an ambulance and pick her up. Okay, sir. Can you give me your address? Yeah, we're at 1825 Eucalyptus Drive. Okay, could you spell that for me, sir? I'm going to drag her on over to Oak Street, and you can pick her up there.
All right.
Black Lives Matter. Have fun paying for all this.
Children ain't violent because they black. They ain't violent. Most people in the world live in a ghetto. They don't kill people. What are you putting in my malt liquor, white boy? What are you putting in? Huh? Hear me. And it's your fault too. Malt liquor is made by white companies but only sold in black neighborhoods, and you ain't checked it to see what's in it. Huh? How much lead are you putting in my neighborhood? Lead affects my thinking capacity. Lead is only one thing on the planet more dangerous than lead, and that's manganese. Manganese will make you kill your mama. And let me tell y'all something. If you want to see the largest homicide rate in the world, it ain't in no black ghetto in America. It's a little town in Australia where them white folks' homicide rate is 200 times what their population is. And that town just happened to be located across the street from a manganese plant. Here you go, right here.
Sit back down, Dick. Don't lose that mic, yeah.
That town is located across the street from a manganese plant. How much manganese are you spraying in my neighborhood at night while I'm asleep?
Yo, isn't it weird how the Simpsons always predict the future? It's because they have to show you their playbook. Who is they and what playbook? The people who maintain control have to show you how they're controlling you. It's a galactic law that you cannot manipulate a planet without the inhabitants knowing. They subliminally tell you through fiction and jokes, hence why they control the media. It's called writers and imagination. Y'all swear everything is a conspiracy theory. None of this stuff is real. We can both agree that cigarettes are poisonous and contribute to a shorter life, right? Obviously, yeah. So if I sold you a pack of cigarettes and never warned you about the harm they cause, I'd be wrong, right? Absolutely. So you would agree that I'm kind of responsible for your death? Yeah, because you didn't warn me about the potential harm. But what if I display a sign saying poisonous cigarettes and you still decide to smoke it, resulting in your own death? Then that's not on you because I chose to do it. And that's how it works.
Have a great time. My pussy. Have a great time, ma'am.
We got to change the books. The books is sexist. The books is racist. I mean, give me a break. Columbus discovered America. Everybody knew that punk got lost. I mean, where was the Indians when he got here? No, this is serious. No. Trust me. If you can discover a country that's already occupied, I take it personal. I can walk out on the parking lot today and discover your car with you in it. Shut up and get in the back seat and teach me Thanksgiving. I mean, finally, let me just say this. If you went home today and me and some black dudes had taken over your house, killed your animals, I mean, destroyed everything, killed everybody in the house, and you come stick your key in the door and we open the door and say, and what are you doing here, savage? And you say, who are you? And we say, We the settlers. Now, how would you feel? But go and look at American history. We come here, took their land, destroyed them, and called them the savages, and called us the settlers. And we print that in our history book.
Black Lives Matter. My pussy matters.
You make no sense. What is wrong with you?
Don't matter, but her fucking pussy matters. Black lives don't matter. Her fucking pussy matters.
Shut the fuck up. Them glasses built like a fucking square.
Well, at least I can see you, fucking round-headed, smooth-faced ass nigga. Boy, you got no details in your face.
I got no details in my face. There's details everywhere.
Details where, nigga? You look easy to draw.
Hi, my name's Mike, and if you're sitting there watching this tape smoking your cigarette, well, hit the fast forward button, because I don't smoke and I don't like people who do smoke.
We received a call from the elementary school. Our daughter attempted suicide by hanging in one of the school bathrooms. They said that it was because she wanted to be a boy, and that we would never accept that due to our Catholic Christian beliefs. And they said that they knew because they were having meetings with my daughter. We were not aware of these meetings, and we actually questioned them why they didn't notify about these meetings. At that point, I was interrupted by the administration, and they said that confidentiality issues prevented them from notifying us about it. So after that, my daughter was put in a police car by herself, alone. She was transferred to a hospital and admitted in a mental institution for over a week with minimal contact with us until she was released under our care. As you could see, she was transitioned in school without our consent or knowledge, and we were actually erased from the picture because of our
Think about that. So if that's true, so it must be true, right? If that's true, even if let's just say that's off, and that's only it's LA. The whole United States. I know it's only LA, right? If that's true, okay, there ain't nobody on this motherfucker, dude. That would mean if we got everybody in Alaska or everybody in Texas, and the whole world was empty, right? All of South America, Asia, Russia. To me, that means this overpopulation bullshit is a fucking myth.
Jagat Patel is the owner of this 7-Eleven at the intersection of East Old Torf and Park Lane.
I play the music 24/7 because fuck them. That's why. Fuck them.
Patel says this comes as there's been issues with the homeless encampment next door.
These motherfuckers. Take a big whiff. Take a smell. Take a smell right now. You smell it? Shit. You know where the shit is from? From these motherfuckers. They're shitting everywhere around here. Everywhere around here, they shit.
He says this music hopes to act as a deterrent.
Deterrent? No, I hope it fucking drives them crazy. Okay? Fuck these motherfuckers. These motherfuckers. Fuck these motherfuckers. You understand? You understand what I'm saying? I say fuck them.
Say.
You got
Just so I'm clear, and I want to make sure you all ride the car with me, baby. Ride shotgun with me, okay? A whole bear. Not a piece of bear, bitch. Not a partial bear, bitch. A whole bear charging you does not petrify you or make you afraid for your life. But a black man in an elevator scares the shit out of you.
Tell me why there was a black resort in Huntington Beach, California. I'm talking about Orange County, Ronald Reagan country. In 1926, blacks founded the Pacific Beach Club in Huntington Beach, California. It was a bathhouse for 1,500 people, a ballroom, pavilion, and clubhouse that fit 2,000, a restaurant, grocery store, drugstore, and 200 cottages, all black-owned, on the beach. They didn't just build the nicest black resort. They built the nicest resort in the nation, period. Let me tell you why they chose Orange County. Orange County was mostly rural at that time. It had orange trees and all that. And LA had all these racial restrictions. They had racial covenants, which meant that in your deed, it said you couldn't sell to blacks even if you wanted to. So in Orange County is where they could get the largest piece of land on the beach, still close to LA. It was beautiful and legal. So if the flyest beach resort in the nation was built by blacks, then why did all the photos of Huntington Beach look like this? There are two haters for every black accolade. White folk try to sabotage the project from the jump. The city tried to prevent them from getting permits, water, electricity. White contractors would just abandon the project without notice. They did everything they could to stop it. But these black folk were resilient. They completed the project anyway. And 2 weeks before the grand opening, an arsonist burned down the resort. They burned down the Pacific Beach Club. Huntington Beach is so white, not because we didn't have money, not because we didn't have ideas, but because they were scared of what this black genius would do to their whiteness.
Because that's a whole bath. A whole bath. And one single black man petrifies you, or worse, bitch, worse.
That's the problem. All y'all niggas running around thinking y'all African. Y'all don't know nothing about no fucking African. I'm not no fucking African. Where all your scholars at? All your fucking scholars up here talking this African shit. We was here before Africa. That's a baby fucking language.
What's going on, family? This is Zeta Historian back again, bringing you a little bit more truth to the story we call history. What we're going to be going over is the Olmec heads. So if you don't know, the Olmec heads are colossal stone heads that have been dated to go back farther than 900 BC. And it seems that this civilization of the Olmecs were the oldest civilizations ever spawned in America. But what has been argued is, who exactly are the Olmecs and what race were they? So when really looking at Monument 4, for most they wouldn't understand exactly where the head attire comes from. But when closely analyzing the head attire, you clearly see that this is Moorish headwear that can be seen throughout a number of ancient civilizations. But keep in mind, family, these heads were found in Mexico, which is a portion of North America. But going deeper into it, the question that has to be asked is, were the Olmecs Moors? I mean, seeing how they're wearing Moorish head attire? So when looking into the Peabody's Museum by Harvard University, you see that the word Indian was substituted for Moorish. But if that's not enough, when looking into the wars that went on here, you clearly see that it was black people already here fighting off these invaders.
I'm really looking for somebody I can feel special about, and I don't encounter people like that very often, and I'm hoping you're one of them.
I'm interested in most phases of data processing.
You got some native in you, brother. Let's start there.
Yeah, well, in terms of the information that I've received from my family members, my mother is from Boston, Massachusetts, and she carries 3 nations in her. The Onondaga, the Narragansett, and the Oneida. And my father is from Alabama, Marion, Alabama, to be exact, and he carries the Choctaw and the Cherokee. And so I've always been familiar with my indigenous American background.
When they walk back, they sing through the forest.
Lost my virginity and turned into a hoe. Every single line is written to destroy society. This girl, Sexy Red, is just a puppet for these labels. She doesn't write any of these lyrics. They find the most ratchet, used up, hood, disgusting woman, put her in a wig, give her some chains, and then hand her a piece of paper and say, destroy society. We'll give you $3 million over several years. Say these lines into a microphone over an 808. You'll make a lot of money, and she's gonna spend it on alcohol, more twerking, never improve. The people who really profit are the people behind the scenes. She's just a puppet for Satan. The quote from these rappers is always like, they hating on me cause I'm up. No, the reason that people hate you is because you are doing Satan's bidding, literally. Dress her up in clown makeup and a clown outfit, and then give her Satan lines. That's what music is now. It's actually just Satanism.
You cannot convince me otherwise that Sexy Red is not an industry plant that was put here to help finalize the destroying of the black woman image. They was already had us under attack, and she was here to just finalize the process. The way they trying to force her on us is just crazy. Like, I wanted to go see Drake, but once I found out Drake had her opening for him, absolutely not. Absolutely not am I going to support anything that thing is behind. I'm not supporting it, right? This is the reason why it's time to separate. It's time to separate as black women, because ain't no way I'm about to be associated with that and Suki Stankiana. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. I don't care how you feel. I don't care how you feel. At this point, separation has to happen. It's one thing to make trashy music. That is a different level of trash.
Hi, I'm Maurice. I'm an executive by day and a wild man by night.
They started this fire. They started it with a laser from space. And whether it's true or not, it not only feels true, in terms of its results, it is kind of true. There is a conspiracy to keep you poor and to benefit rich elites. But it's everywhere. It's almost like water to a fish. It's not a conspiracy. It's just the environment you live in. You live in corruption. Every time there's a disaster or fire, you bet it's going to benefit elites. You bet the poorest people are going to suffer more. Every time there's a pandemic, you bet they're going to control you more, and rich interests are going to benefit from it. We might not find a smoking gun or a beaming laser, but you can be sure that BlackRock and the world's most powerful individuals will benefit down the line from this disaster. The trouble is, by then, me and you, unless we're very, very careful, will be focusing on the conspiracy theory or the tragedy of 2024 or 2025. So for now, let's focus on those that are truly suffering, the people of Hawaii who have lost their lives and who have lost their homes. But let's not get so caught up in grief that we forget how these disasters are exploited by the powerful that benefit from a system that seems to be advantaged every time there's a disaster for ordinary people.
Life is a playground and I want somebody to play with.
The airplane lady.
Those people aren't real?
No one's been able to track her down,
Oh,
right?
no.
She just popped up this past week on TMZ.
It's basically her just saying, I apologize, I shouldn't have done that. When I saw it, I was like, that doesn't look like her. We didn't know who she was for the first couple weeks. Like, they couldn't even find a name. She started a new Twitter account when she posted this video. The first person she followed was TMZ. So people started doing like some AI face detection. There's this guy that does it online professionally, and he says if you get a score 0.6 or below, it is the same person. He put videos that were on the plane, videos that were outside the plane of the real Tiffany. And it's not her.
1.2.
Guy's like, I was not expecting this.
He's
Wow.
like, this makes me really interested. One other dude checks her IP address from the video.
Okay.
Guess where it tracked to?
TMZ headquarters.
Place
Texas.
2 blocks away from the White House. Washington, D.C.
Stop it
right
now!
Did she see something and then they put in a double, be like, this was so embarrassing.
Yeah.
I'm telling you! Right now!
Service announcement. Hide your man. Hide your brothers.
Hey.
If schools taught the Vietnam War was started by a lie, students would know it's okay to question 9/11. If schools taught that the Gulf War was started by a lie, students would know it's okay to question 9/11. If schools taught that JFK was offered a military plan to attack American cities, students would know it's okay to question 9/11. If schools taught the CIA admitted to bribing American media, students would know it's okay to question 9/11. If schools taught the history of MK Ultra mind control, students would know it's okay to question 9/11. It's okay to ask about trillions of dollars that go missing, to question how a building that wasn't hit by a plane fell down, to wonder why there aren't a bunch of videos of a plane hitting the Pentagon, to ask about insurance policies taken out before the event, to wonder how they found a passport in all this rubble, to question why they invaded Afghanistan and Iraq when the alleged attackers were from Saudi Arabia, to point out the vice president's connection to the military contractor that made billions of dollars in the war in Iraq, because if schools taught the truth, they would teach our children to question everything. And that's what we do with my homeschool company. And with my books on the history of fake news, the history of the banking system, the right to bear arms, how propaganda is used to silence free speech, and so much more.
Tell you about the breakfast diet. Have you heard of a guy called Edward Bernays? So Edward Bernays is known as the father of propaganda. The meat industry came to Edward Bernays, who's known as the father of propaganda, pushing propaganda campaigns, and said, we need to push more sales of bacon, more sales of meat. Can we figure out how to introduce meats into the breakfast diet? So they built an entire marketing campaign behind breakfast being the most important meal of the day. It skyrocketed. Sausage sales, bacon sales, ham sales. Bro, breakfast wasn't a thing. They made it a thing. You want to know the craziest part? You know who's the nephew of the guy from propaganda, Edward Bernays? You know who's his family member? The founder of Netflix. Propaganda machines, bro. It's all propaganda machines, bro.
I don't know. I'm into conspiracy theory, man. That's my thing. I think fast food. Fast food, I think, is like a conspiracy. You know? I think that's how they just keep us dumb. You can't even think after a while. You ever notice that shit? Like, you have your whole day planned out, eat one egg McMuffin, you're just on the couch. Yeah, you know what? Fuck my dreams.
Always loved the old saying, it's so much truth in a joke. But in this case, the joke may be on us consumers. A recent report not only linked fast food to laziness, but to cognitive impairment. The study took place for 6 months and performed on a subject of rats. I'm guessing that was a good 6 months for the rats. Only 3 months into the experiment, researchers unsurprisingly found the rats eating the fast food got much fatter. However, a more interesting finding was the obese rat's performance lever task became impaired. Cognitive impairment. When a person has trouble remembering, learning things, concentrating, or making decisions on simple, everyday life tasks. Just a little something to think about.
Has anyone ever actually listened to the lyrics of the song by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Californication, which was, keep in mind, written almost 25 years ago?
Psychic spies from China try to steal your mind's elation. A little girl from Sweden dream of silver screen quotation. It's the edge of the world in all of Western civilization. The sun may rise in the east, at least it's settled in a final location. A surgeon there to while the break the spell of aging. Celebrity skin, is this your gender? Is that warrior waging? Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement. In Cobain, can you hear the spheres singing songs off station to station? And Alderon's not far away, it's Californication. Only raised by love to praise, control of population. Everybody's been there and I don't need no vacation.
Behind the wizard's curtain, this ain't Kansas for certain. We live and live in color, backstage at the Truman Show. Everything not 3 dimensions, there's so much more to be seen. Open up your third eye, or you gon' miss everything. Then in the middle of all this, I got people with larceny in their heart for me. I must hold down the fortress, stay alive and stay out the penitentiary. Better wisely choose your battles. Try not to think so small. It's a big psychedelic picture that'll turn your hatred to love, maybe not though. 350s, 9 millis, stendo 47s. They want us to all disarm. We ain't giving up our weapons. Fuck no, it's the USA, motherfucking USA, the US of A.
The Netherlands has removed all artificial turf with rubber matting from the entire country, and when you find out why, you'll be shocked that the same hasn't yet happened in the United States. We've seen an increased trend in young soccer players getting lymphoma, and very specifically, the goalies. The goalies who are getting in their face kicked up grass and dirt from that artificial turf. So what are they taking in that's causing a problem? Well, the rubber matting is made up of recycled tires. You see, the tire companies have figured out how to take what normally would have been a cost center where they would have had to recycle the tires and instead turn it into a profit center where they chop them up into what we call rubber crumb, which is used as a foundation for artificial turf. This is full of lead, mercury, and arsenic, toxic poisons, and we are now seeing our kids getting cancer from this. A study from Yale University just proved the harmful effects, and yet your kids are still playing on it. The data is clearly showing how dangerous this is, so if you're in a community or a school with artificial turf with a rubber mat, push back, advocate, teach the decision makers what this stuff is doing, and get them to go natural.
I took a sponge ball, was pulling him out of a little girl's ear and looking for the goddess. Are you the goddess? Who is the goddess?
The goddess is the woman, is a woman, is any woman, is all women.
Hello? Dude, of course they don't have a mic. Of course the random gets down. Why do I always get paired up with bots with no mics? This is exactly why I hate random queuing, because they suck at the game and they have no mic.
Can you shut your up? I'm trying to relax and play a game and yo annoying just won't shut up. God damn, you don't have to be such a
Hold up, what did you just call me?
I called you a now get my reboot card or leave the game.
Say it again. You know I'm streaming right now.
Do you really think I care about your dumb stream? Do you really think I care about your goddamn off-brand Pokemon fucking up? Look at your goddamn Fortnite playing, doo-doo fart spraying, cringy e-girl portraying, ugly face displaying, body built like a mutant, Nick and Morak, got on the bad jeans, you were born in the wrong format, shut up. You suck at Fortnite, you got no personality, you build like an oppressed toilet brush, you're annoying as and nobody cares about you or any of your viewers. So shut the up.
Yep, I've heard enough. Genuinely, chat, what did I do to deserve this? Why are people so mean to me? For what reason?
I'm passing the phone to a girl who left her family for dick and legs. Okay, well, I'm passing the phone to a hungry heifer that lost her life to an apple. Oh, goodness, well, I'm passing the phone to someone who was so rough on the face, people actually believe she was a boy. Mr. Dimension, I'm passing the phone to a girl who fell in love with Bigfoot. It was a curse. But I'm passing the phone to a blonde bombshell who was dumb enough to fall into a coma over a needle. Well, I'm passing the phone to someone who had a whole curfew because they were afraid of their stepmommy. Not anymore, okay? I'm passing the phone to a girl who kissed a frog just to open a business. Show the fuck did, bitch, and I'll do it again. Brown hoe, you don't know me. I'm from New Orleans. I'll whoop your ass.
But if we dive deep and we go into what it identified the Creek Nation as, there was not a Creek Indian that was not identified as a Negro. So I'll say real simple, where's the Negroes at? Oh, they're the freedmen now.
Yep.
They're the freedmen begging to be identified by those who was once not even considered Creek. That's documented. That's documented. That there was a different class of Creeks. The Creeks who were Creeks all looked like Negroes or considered Negroes to be Creeks. And then there was the mulattoes, there was the mixed breeds, there was those who looked even white. And I'm not going to leave this show without literally quoting that statement because that is more powerful than anything else when it comes to our identity.
The Pan-Africans and the RBG of this time, of this day and age, you know who they are? Dr. Khalid already spoke about them. They are armchair revolutionaries. Armchair Pan-Africans who don't go nowhere. They think by being a Pan-African is getting on goddamn YouTube and talking smack. You don't see these niggas nowhere in the field. You don't see these niggas nowhere doing work. They not bringing you stuff saying, yo, look, we got a giveaway here. Show me where you see them at. Show me where you see any of these niggas doing work besides getting their dumb, silly ass on YouTube talking smack about everybody. Where they doing it at? I don't see it. You're not going to see it because they phonies, they fakes, and they haters of.
In my research, I found that everything that we call holistic, from Reiki to polarity, to astrology, to reflexology, to aromatherapy, to hydrotherapy, healing baths, to color therapy. It's all based on African culture, which we call New Age, but it's from antiquity. So that builds up your self-esteem. That's our stuff. Give me back my stuff.
Who called it black magic? It is African religion and spirituality that other civilizations, particularly the whites and the Arabs, characterize as black magic. There is nothing black about it, and there is nothing magic about it. It is their way of communication with God. Every other civilization has dark powers, and those dark powers are the ones sometimes that are characterized as witchcraft. And if you want to know that these are known to all civilization, they have a word for it. Whenever you see that a society has a word for something, it means that they are familiar and that they practice that thing. So I don't want us to use the word black magic. If it is magic and witchcraft, let it just be witchcraft. And that is only so if you are speaking in English.
This is Jekyll Island, where in 1910, representatives from the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Morgans, and other private bankers gathered secretly to draft the legislation that would create the Federal Reserve. I found it revealing that in the same year the Federal Reserve was founded, 1913, the Internal Revenue Service was also established. An income tax was then instigated so you and I would have to pay the politicians' debt plus interest to the bankers.
The problem is we have a privately owned central bank system in the United States disguised as a government-owned system. Now, if you look in the telephone book here in the Washington, D.C. area, you look up for Federal Reserve in the blue government pages, it's not there. It's in the white pages right next to Federal Express. It's a privately owned central bank.
Central banks are banking cartels which have gone into partnership with the respective governments in the countries where they operate. And they've been given monopolistic power over the creation of the nation's money supply.
I believe that Russell Brand started the fight against the Matrix by telling the truth. And if anyone doesn't know how he poked the bear, I'll show you right here. It's very obvious. Look at this.
Out of respect for you and your show, I've brought some facts. The pandemic created at least 40 new big pharma billionaires. Pharmaceutical corporations like Moderna and Pfizer made $1,000 of profit every second from the COVID-19 vaccine. More than two-thirds of Congress received campaign funding from pharmaceutical companies in the 2020 election. Pfizer chairman Albert Bourla told Time magazine in July 2020 that his company was developing a COVID vaccine for the good of humanity, not for money. And of course, Pfizer made $100 billion in profit in 2022. When it came to the profit, they took the profits. When it came to the funding, you paid for the funding. If you have an economic system in which pharmaceutical companies benefit hugely from medical emergencies, where a military-industrial complex benefits from war, where energy companies benefit from energy crises, you are going to generate states of perpetual crisis, where the interests of ordinary people separate from the interests of the elite.
You need to leave. You need to leave. You need to leave. You need to leave. Fucking bat. You need to leave.
See, white people ridicule the hell out of poor white trash. They ridicule the hell out of incest coming out of Appalachia. We glorify the equivalent for black life. See, we don't need to glorify the gangster and the thug. We don't need to glorify the harlot and the sleeves. We don't need to glorify the shirker. It's a false narrative and a false image that people see day in, day out, and they've been brainwashed by this inappropriate propaganda that's not being countered. I'm countering.
This is what King Tut looked like. This was his grandmother. And this was his grandfather. But this white woman painted them like this. And this is how Europeans portray King Tut now. This is how we portray them. Which one is more accurate?
But I'm curious, can you name a white coach off the top of your head that you think makes it about himself, sells sunglasses?
Well, can you name a white coach who they doubt like they doubted Dia? They don't do white coaches like that. When a white coach comes in, by default, they're like, well, yep, he's the man for the job. Everything was about doubting Dion. And he was like, hey, you know what? I'm going to do what I do. I'm going to come in. I'm going to win. Well, y'all hate to see a confident black person who ain't bowing down, who's winning. Why do y'all hate that so much?
Because it makes us insecure that we can't do it the same way he can.
Thank you. Thank you. But that's a you problem. At least say, I'm glad you're being honest, but that's a you
I
problem.
know, but when we
can't
see a
help
black man shining, it just like tears us down because that's like all we have left is the coaches.
I know that.
Until the MPLA Liberation Front would free Angola with the help of the troops of Cuba just a decade ago. And then these people, the Americans and the others who supported Portuguese imperialism, colonialism, and aggression, murdering a couple of millions of Africans, stealing countless trillions of dollars in raw material, would go against Cuba, who come to help liberate these people from this European oppression. And we go along with it because we have no true understanding of history or of the players in history.
Now this is the most clear Vegas phone call I've ever seen in my life. This is pure insanity. 10-point game, 10 seconds left. Look at the ref. Look at the ref. You might think the place is on fire. They rush up to the line and spike the ball. And you gotta be shitting me. The spread is Rams +7. They're kicking a field goal on 2nd and 10 with 4 seconds left. Why? Tell me why. I want one good reason why they would kick a field goal with no time left on the clock. Why not just take a shot at the end zone? What the fuck did we just witness?
Ow, Trey!
What?
Trey, stop!
What am I doing?
Trey,
I'm not doing
seriously,
anything.
stop!
What?
Trey, stop!
Koala is hiding under a tree and crying. It's screaming as if it's asking for help. Seeing that someone has been filming him, he walks towards the man, regardless of his own safety. The little creature staggered to the man's body and then stretched out its arms and hugged the man's thighs. Then it looks at the man with a pleading face. But the man didn't know what it meant. He thought the little koala was looking for him to play with him. So he reached out and stroked the koala. Seeing that the man did not understand what he meant, the koala walked away in disappointment. Then the man's girlfriend brought him a basin of water. But the little koala only looked at it and then walked away again. Undeterred, the little koala came to the man again, holding the man's hand with its own little paw. At this point, the man also understood. It approached him to seek help. Knowing this situation, the man stood up and followed the little koala behind him. The little koala turned around and saw the man following him. It seems that the man understands what he means. The little koala then walked in front and began to lead the way for the man. After following the little one for 10 minutes, in a football goal they found a trapped koala mother. It turns out that the little koala was looking for the man to save her mother. The man's girlfriend hurriedly got some scissors and started to free the mother koala. The mother koala seemed to know that the lady in front of her was trying to save her. She lowered her head very cooperatively to make it easier for the lady to cut. Miraculously, she even raised her hand and grabbed her arm. It seems to be expressing its gratitude to the lady who saved her. Seeing how grateful it was, she stroked it with her hand. Her movements are even more gentle. Worried about hurting the mother koala, Miss is very careful with each cut. After 10 minutes of rescue, the mother koala finally got out of the net and quickly ran to the side to look for her child.
If you had a daughter, 10 or 12 years of age, what would you say to her about growing up in this society?
I would say you might encounter many defeats, but you must never be defeated, ever. In fact, it might even be necessary to confront defeat. It might be necessary to get over it, all the way through it, and go on. I would teach her to laugh a lot. Laugh a lot at the silliest things. And be very, very serious. I teach her to love life, I bet you that.